Welcome to Conquering Dreams with the legendary motivational speaker, C.B. Baker. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here's C.B. Baker.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Conquering Dreams with your host, C.B. Baker. I have a really good show and guest for you today. Today we're going to be going into the world of a hairstylist. And first off, welcome to the show, Tamiko, which I'm going to call her throughout the show, Miko. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So now I've been knowing you for a while, and you introduced me to the world of hair. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know it was that deep, and how much really women in general, how much you'll go through to get your hair done, and then what the stylists go through for is making sure that everything happens the way it should happen. So what I want to ask you is, how did you know that you just was going to be this master stylist?
Well, I didn't know I was going to be who I am today. It just was a natural gift that I started off in high school, looking at stuff, going to the hair salon, getting my hair done. And from being, figuring things out, doing it on my family and friends. Then from there, I went to cosmetology school. And then from there, I really didn't get serious about what I was doing until like the second or third year, because I really wanted to do something.
So how old were you when this was going on? When you first started doing hair?
Like 14.
Wow.
Yeah, like 14. So I first I got into it a little bit about 14. And then in high school, I started doing more family. Because 14, I was just, in and out the salon and then doing my hair, in between time. And then high school, I say 11th grade, doing just when I started doing family hair a little bit. They wouldn't really let me get into it because they were like, I didn't know what I was doing, but I figured, I can look at it and figure it out. It's not that simple. It's art.
Right.
It's not that complicated. It's simple to me because it's art. And so then after that, I went to cosmetology school. So then they started trusting me more because they feel like I'm getting the education behind it. And it's more anatomy to it than just, building hair.
So how old were you when you got out of cosmetology school?
When I got out of cosmetology school, I was 21. Yeah, we're around there. I took a break because I got pregnant when I was in cosmetology school. So I took a little less than a year off because the chemicals and stuff was making me sick. So the doctor said, well, you don't need to be out. It was 5 or 6 months into my pregnancy. And then right before my daughter, I only had a couple of months left, which was 300 hours left to complete, because then the school that I went to, state will require 1,500, they require 2,000. So I went back for a couple of months, and I just had to get my hours because I had already had my credits and everything. Mm-hmm. So I was 21 when I actually completed school.
Okay, so now you're 21-year-old. You have basically a new baby. Mm-hmm. So what was that like? Okay, let's go back to when you was 21 and a hairstylist. And then also you're competing now with all the other hairstylists that's out there. And now you have a new baby. So what does that world look like?
Well, it was okay to me, honestly, because I didn't feel like I was competing. I just feel like, okay, I have something that's to offer. Even with my new baby, I went into it, I went to my first salon a week before her first birthday.
Wow.
And I remember the young lady that used to do my hair, she called me. She was like, why don't you come over here? She had spoke with the manager, and her name is Patricia Waters. She called me. She was like, I spoke with Dee, and she said you can come work here. So they gave me my first opportunity. Mm-hmm. And I was with them up until a couple years before I got my own salon. So I didn't look at it like I was competing, because I had a whole lot to learn. And I don't use competing because we all create differently.
Okay.
So.
All right. So now you have everything. You're in the salon, and tell me about the first time somebody complained to you about their hair.
In Jesus' name. It wasn't. My first complaint was because of my time.
Okay.
It was because I was, new, fresh into it. You want to make sure you cross every T and dot every I. And I got there when I had first had my interview with the manager of the salon I was at. Dee, she told me, and it stick with me today. If you cross every T and dot every I, wherever you do, if they straight, it will come back. So that still stick with me. So just like, okay, I'm in there, I'm doing the hair, and I'm just trying to make sure, like, okay, you need to do this right, you need to do that right, based off the knowledge that I know, because I only know what cosmetology school taught me.
Mm-hmm.
So at this moment, they only teach you the basics to pass state board. Right. They don't teach you what the real world is about. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, so I'm crossing every T down there, I based off cosmetology, education. Mm-hmm. And it was the longest process ever. And, she made a complaint about that. Then I had another complaint when they asked me, they told me she wanted tight curls, and I gave her tight curls with the Marcells. But it was like extremely tight, like a rod set. Right. And at that time, that really wasn't in, but I'm like, I gave you tight curls, you want them last, so giving you what you asked for. So another thing, and then going through all the motions, learning that you have to, have thorough consultation and things sort of like that. So yeah, there was a few complaints.
So let's just dive in a little bit on that. When somebody asks you for, say, I want tight curls, and then you give them tight curls. When did you start to really truly understand your customers that are coming through the door when they say, like, I know when I go get my hair cut, I say, now I just say I want a fade to the guy that's cutting me. He said, how you want to just regular fade? He knows what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But when you go to a new barber, it's like, okay, what type of fade do you want? Mm-hmm. What's your process of what you do when you sit down with a new customer?
Then or now?
Now. Let's talk about now.
Okay, now. Because like everything's on Google. So, of course I ask them the same question. I probably flip it like, 5 different ways. Just make sure I get the same answer. And then the more you ask them the same question, you get a different answer each time. That tells you right there that they really don't really know what they want. And then you start showing them pictures. I want my hair just like that. I want this color, or I want this style. I mean, when you tell me you want this style, I'm thinking overall style. That means you want the color, the cut, and everything. So that's when you dig deep into more questions like, what do you really want? Then it was like, oh no, I don't want my hair cut like that. Oh no, I want that color. Okay, so that's when you have to constantly dig deep and ask all of these questions. Right. At the point sometimes they get frustrated. Like, you just keep asking the questions, but I have to make sure I know what you want.
Right, because once you cut the hair,
right,
it's gone.
Yeah.
So have you had a situation where you cut somebody's hair and it was like, this is not what I was saying, but after you've had the whole conversation about doing the consultation, and they say, this is not what I wanted. So how did you handle that complaint?
I haven't had a haircut. I haven't had a haircut like that. I've had a style like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, this is, I asked you several times, and this is what you asked for. And then, but they wind up liking it, so they'll keep it. And I try to refix it because I want them to leave out satisfied. But then sometimes when they come to me, and because you have some clients that know what they want, they don't care if I want this style or whatever. And I'll tell them, I'm like, you want this? And I don't go back and forth with them because I had done them before, or even if it's my first time, they have that personality, the attitude, like, I've been getting my hair done, this is what I want. And I give them what they ask for. So
now for the aspiring stylists out there that are maybe listening to this or watching this, mm-hmm. So why did you stop going back and forth?
Because some people are so adamant about what they want that they don't really understand. They don't respect your profession. And that's when it's about your professionalism. Right. So it's like, you educate yourself, you know what you're talking about, you don't have all the answers, but this is what you do. So I'm not going to really keep going back and forth because it's just going to be more work on me. And then sometimes I have decline services.
Wow, that's deep. Because we talk about that also, like with entrepreneurs, like every client isn't a good client. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just got to say, no, right. Thank you.
Right.
So now, you're now a hairstylist, you're 21 years old, you're in the whole mix of everything. So how old were you, or how long did it take you to get to where you were saying, I want to own my own salon?
I didn't.
So how did you come to own your own salon now? You didn't just walk in one day and say, okay.
You know, everybody would get out of school and say, I want to be a salon owner, I want my own salon. I really didn't get out of school saying that. I got out of school understanding I have a talent. I have a natural born gift. And that's, you know how I know hair. And understanding hair. So in the beginning, I didn't want to own. I didn't, own a salon. I didn't want to own a salon. It was all God's timing, and that's the only way I can really explain it. It wasn't my time because in the process. First, let me go back. As a contractor, as a booth renter in a salon, if you don't work, you pay booth rent. Okay. And I always tell you that whether it's medical, they can call you and put you in the hospital for 3 months. As long as your stuff at that station, you're responsible for that rent. Now, what had happened is I removed my stuff from, I was at the salon. Things go right. I left at the time of my pregnancy. It's just like, if it's time for, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to work for 3 months. I wasn't going to pay rent, that just,
Right.
So I just removed my stuff, and then, me and the young ladies, we became, good friends to the point we respect each other's business. And I just went on from there. And then once I went from there, when my clients were like, you need to open your own salon, I'm like, girl, I'm going on maternity leave for 6 months. What are you talking about?
Right.
And she was like, so when I say it happened, it was all God's timing. And that was 2009, and I'm still going. Still going
strong.
Yeah.
All right, so now 2009 to 2018, everybody listening and watching this knows that during that time frame, we had a massive shift in African-American women's hair, going from big hair to what I call the Beyonce big hair, the wigs, everything, and then drastically going to people with naturals. How did you transition yourself on how you did hair and your salon to go along with that whole transformation on a 10-year time frame?
Relaxer was the popular thing once. Then they transitioned to the natural, but I know hair. I understand hair.
Right.
That's why I tell people, like, if you understand hair, how it moves, how it works, the breakdowns, you have to get deep into and truly understand what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing, why you're using a certain product, why this hair texture do this, and why this do that, and why this fall this way. Whether they go back to relaxer, it doesn't matter. Straight hair, curly hair, it really doesn't matter because you understand what you're doing. Right. And so that's when I transitioned with my salon, and just making sure you have to educate the whole, your whole career, because you never can stop learning.
Now, have you found it hard to teach people things that just come natural to you?
I found it very challenging. It is extremely challenging. Yeah. I can look at someone's hair and say, oh, her hair dry. Oh, her hair is unhealthy. Oh, she has some beautiful hair. I can see it with my eye. Like with some people, they don't get it.
Right.
So, me is trying to break that down and explain it to them why. I can explain it to them, but then me understanding like that they don't get it. I have to make sure as a salon owner that they understand that. So getting them to that process of they understanding it, that's the challenging part, and that requires a lot of patience.
So now, have you run into a situation to where you've had a customer sit in your chair and they wanted to do what they call the big chop to go to the natural, right? So did you lose any business because of that? Because if you do the big chop, then you got a while before it comes time to step back into a stylist seat.
Yes and no. I did, because even if they do the big chop, they still have to know how to take care of the hair. And then they don't, like they just want they soft look. So there's different things that they want to do to the hair with the big chopping.
Right.
You have to train your hair. Even though you cut in your relaxed hair off and natural or relaxer free, because it is a difference in being relaxer free and natural. Okay. And people don't get that.
So go ahead and explain the difference between relaxer free and natural.
When you're natural, you have no color, no chemicals, no at all in your hair. When you relaxer free, your color, your process, you actually change your natural color of your hair. So you're no longer natural, you're relaxer free. And that's the difference in it.
Okay.
So even with that, I have had some who had big chops and they want that color because they still want that softness, they want that femininity. So it was like, can you color it, give me a color? Because they had to adjust to the look.
Right.
So then I still had to teach them how to take care of the hair. So I didn't feel like I lost anything. It's just educating them more.
Now, did you have any situations to where customers who was attached to your relaxed hair so much so to the point where you could seek, I know you always pride yourself as I want you to come in, get your hair done and feel like a completely different person in a positive way. Mm-hmm. Have you had anybody sit in your chair, do the big chop, and then look in the mirror and be like, oh my God, and have that oh my God look on their face and you had to console them because, it's a whole process to be able to go through that.
Right.
So did you have anybody going through that?
I haven't in my chair because like I say, I question them. Mm-hmm. And I show them how short it's going to be. And I question, like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Okay, I miss the hair to let them see the difference in the length, know. And ask them the first important thing you need to know, why do you want to do the big chop? Or why do you want to go natural or relaxer free? Right. Why? Because it's a why behind. People say, well, I want my hair to grow longer. Have you ever had long hair? No, it's going to grow longer. Right. I want to be thicker. Have you ever had thick hair? No, don't mean it's going to be thicker. Things because the relaxer is a chemical and it breaks down your natural curl pattern. It's designed to relax your natural curl pattern. Right. So what it's going to do is just going to make it appear to be, it's going to straighten it and make it appear to be more finer and softer, but you just straighten it out. When it's natural and with no chemical, it's just curly, wavy, oil, different. So different types of curls. So I just make sure that I ask them, why do they want to do the big chop and then go from there. But, I haven't had anyone to say, oh my God, but I have had people get haircuts and be like, oh, I don't know. So well, this is what you asked for. But I try to get them comfortable with the process. Yeah. And
so I know it has to be challenging.
It's very challenging.
Because you're sitting in a chair. I always could equate a barber, a stylist, and a bartender have the same type conversations with their clients. Because you're like a pseudo therapist for a guy at a bar for like 45 minutes that person's there. If you're in a barber chair, for 30 minutes that you're there. And then as a stylist for going in and out from getting your hair washed and stuff like that, you are like a therapist talking to the person. So I know you deal with and hear a whole lot of things. Yeah. So do you feel yourself, did you get better over time on how to be able to talk with your clients as you were doing the hair?
I have gotten a whole lot better. It's not just the time, but it's to educating myself and, understanding the clients. And it's just not a hustle or a job, to me, because I truly love doing it. So, because they really feel different once you finish. But it's very challenging. You're a therapist. You have to help them with issues. You have to put, my thing is, once you hit your door of your business where you work, you put all your personal issues, you leave that outside the door. Because now you working for someone else, because we work for our clients. So we're working for someone else, and then you have to be available mentally, physically for them, emotionally, because wherever they're going through, they're going to give it all to you.
Let's run it back a little bit. It's not a hustle.
It's not a hustle.
Right. So we have talked before about people who get into the industry, as a hustle, like this their side hustle, and they come rent a booth from you and they're never there. And I've talked to other barbers that they get mad about that. Like they're renting a booth and I got people sitting down wanting a haircut, but there's nobody here. Right. But he's got a booth, but he's paying his $150 a week. Right. But because he's looking at it as a hustle. Explain to the people listening how you can turn being a hairstylist or a barber from a side hustle into a main hustle, a main job that gets you a whole lot of money versus just, nickel and dime?
It's first you have to start with self. What do self want out of this? And then once you find out what you want out of it, where you're trying to go, how long you trying to extend your credentials and your resume, will determine on whether or not it's going to be a hustle. And because there's so many different avenues you can go down into the hair industry. So that would determine on the type of clientele you would try. So that would determine whether or not it's a hustle for you. You have to know where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do. Me, it's business. It's nothing personal. My family's in my chair. Once you sit in my chair, you're not my sister. You're my client.
Right.
Once you sit in my chair, you're not my aunt. You're my client. I don't try to be harsh or cruel, but this is my livelihood, and I have to respect it as my livelihood. The CEO of any company, you can go talk to them. That's their livelihood. They don't mix that personal and business, and you have to know how to separate the two and keep it different. I don't know. It's all your mindset. It's truly, that's all I can say. What do you want out of it? And you have to say, you can be a jack of all trades and a master at nothing.
Right.
So you can do, okay, I'm going to do lashes. I'm going to do, what else am I doing? I'm going to do makeup. I'm going to do hair. I'm going to do massage. I'm going to do a lot. But what did you master?
Right.
In the midst of you trying to tap into everything?
Right. They're going wide versus just going narrow and deep.
Right. So you have to master something. And what would you master? And me, I master on understanding hair. So that means I can get that hair to pretty much do, not what I wanted to do, because you do what the hair tell you to do. So I just master hair.
So in your salon, since you are a master stylist,
Mm-hmm.
when I walk through the door and I say, I need my hair done, lashes and eyebrows done. So
Mm-hmm.
when it goes outside of your realm,
Mm-hmm.
do you contact somebody to come in? How does that work?
Well, I have someone that does lashes and eyebrows. I can do. It's things that I know how to. I know how to do it, but I just don't. That's not my lane I'm going to go into. I choose not to. I have a certification on some things, but it's just that I'm going to stick to what I do. I'm just going to master that to the fullest. I'm not telling no one that you can't do 3 and 4 things. I'm just saying is if you just build a strong team, it's going to be enough for everybody to eat.
Right. Right. And so basically what you're saying in a nutshell is you still got to have the base knowledge of what everybody else needs to do, even though it might not be your strength,
Mm-hmm.
but you have the base knowledge so you know how to go find somebody that can do this
And know
what they're doing and do it at the level that you do hair.
Right.
Because if you try to go do it, I can do it.
Yeah, it's going to take me a little longer but we're just not going to do that. So I'm going to get someone else to make sure they get executed to the fullest.
Yes. Now, let's transition to something it is November, mm-hmm. and your event happens in October. Okay. So tell people about your event that you have that goes on every October. It's a good event.
I have a breast cancer awareness foundation, and it's called Paint Me Perfectly Pink. Actually, I started Paint Me Perfectly Pink in 2014. Sitting at the salon waiting on a client one day. And the client actually was battling breast cancer for 5 years at the time in and out of chemo. And when I was like, I was waiting for this particular client, I'm like, wow, September, like breast cancer awareness month. So I told her, what can we do? So I got the girls in the salon because, I'm all about, working together as a team to execute what we need to execute. And and I, ran the idea past them, and they was all for it. So really, and I believe to execute anything, you have to fight blood, sweat, and tears. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, they want to have what you can't have anything to bring it to life. So, and I can say the young ladies, they fought blood, sweat, and tears. So they helped me, and we all, with the help of them, we executed on our first breast cancer awareness event called Paint Me Perfectly Pink. So we just uplift breast cancer survivors by loving on them, giving them positive attention and feedback, pampering them to make them feel beautiful all over again. Just give them, it's like your wedding day. So
Right.
it's pretty much we plan a day. This one day, the whole year we plan it for this wedding day. The ball gowns, hair, makeup, everything, everything.
So I know you're very proud of that event.
I am. I'm very proud. This year will make the 4th year. And it gets larger and larger each year, but I'm extremely excited. Altogether, I have 32 breast cancer. I call them champions. I don't call them survivors because the motto is I am a fighter, I am a champion. They'll be fighting for the rest of their lives. And, in my eyes, they are my champions. So, so they are my champions. I have 32 from 2014 until 18. And, yes, and then we still have ladies that contact us and reach us and just try to, bring them in. It's a support group. They build a sisterhood, bond, do things together. They do things together outside of Paint Me Perfect Pink, which I love that, because a lot of them have actually had ladies that say, they never have felt beautiful. Like they never had this opportunity to put on a ball gown. They never had this opportunity to put on get their makeup professionally done. Some of them never had professional massages, and they just felt beautiful. They felt like living life all over again.
Right.
And I've been going through that.
All right, so now we're coming to the close of this interview.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that you would like to bring before we close out?
Oh no.
That you'd like to mention or talk about?
I don't know. What else?
So how can we get in touch with you and book to get booked at your place?
Okay. The name of my salon is Unique Total Design. I'm located at 2808 Yakin Road, Sweet D as a dog, Chesapeake 23321. Phone number 757-337-8776. And let me say something. It is something else I want to say.
Okay.
Back to the professionalism of this. My clients don't contact my cell phone. I have the same cell phone that I've been having for the last almost 20 years, but 98% of my clients don't call my cell phone because I have a business number, I have a business email, I have a 24/7 online booking. So if they need to get me, they have other ways of reaching me. When I'm off work, it's my personal time. That helps me respect and love the business just as much as I did the day before. So we'll go back to that. But I was going to give you the rest of the contact information, which is the salon number 757-337-8776. And this what else? You book at uniquetotaldesign.com. I actually have a massage therapist, 1, 2, 3, 4 hairstylists, a braid expert, and lash extensions, all now located within the salon. So, and makeup artists. So you have, options when you come in. Pretty much a full service salon.
Right.
Very professional, very modern salon. Laid back, relaxed atmosphere. The clients love it. I mean, I can honestly say the clients love it.
Yeah. And I've been there, and everybody I talk to that's there, they just love it.
Yeah.
And they're sitting waiting for you to come get that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And watching you wash somebody's hair and the smile on their face, they're just sitting there like it's an oasis.
Yeah.
So I know firsthand from witnessing it that you do a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us for Conquer Your Dreams. And thank you all for listening and watching once again. Yes, I am back in the fold. I'm having more interviews like this. Thank you so much. This is your host, CB Baker. Till next time.